Hello, is it audible? Has everyone joined or something? Am I audible? And then is the video clear? Think you can reply with the chat. Have 14 students for now. We're waiting for some more. Almost I'll be starting at 2:30. We still have 6 more minutes. So sharp at around 2:30 we'll start. Is it too noisy or everything is kind of fine? I hope things are fine. So better Twitch was not giving us a lot of flexibility, but I think YouTube will give us a lot of flexibility. Later, also, you can actually check the videos. The videos will also always be stored if you're having the link. You can always come back and then take a look at the lecture if you have any doubts. Okay, just have 23 for now. I hope just inform your classmates that we'll be sharping. We'll be starting sharp at 2:30, so let them be present. Okay. Okay. Meanwhile, the people who have joined, they could tell me how was Photoshop, working with Photoshop so far. Hello everyone. Now, sorry about that. There was a power failure. I couldn't help anything about that. Okay. So I think we can start in some time. I'll wait for 2 more minutes for the rest of your friends to actually join in. There are around 22 of you right now, and I'm just waiting for the few more people to start immediately. Okay. Hope you understood Photoshop from last class, the basics and beginning, and how to work with it and everything. Okay, I hope you actually practiced working with layers and things and all. So that should not be a problem right now. If not, do let me know. I'll like send you tutorials or other things, or you can like refer Twitch for the other session that I had last time. Okay. Hope is it audible, sufficiently audible for everyone, and you're able to keep yourself live, or you're able to hear me. I need some response over here. Could someone respond back? Okay, so yeah, yeah, good. So 30, I'll just wait for 2 more minutes. The plan for 2:30. Now it's almost gonna be 3. 2 minutes for 3, and then like I think we can like start right away at 3. That should be sufficient wait for others to join in as well. I saw your submissions and everything, and it was pretty interesting. I hope you all had fun, like enjoying the submission as well. If you put more time, you'd have got more ideas to actually work in, and it could have been sorted. But the main idea of that previous assignment was for you to understand how to work with layers, understanding selections, understanding layer mask, and everything. Oh, and good. In this, I'm able to get better names actually of everyone having better. The direct names I'm able to see. Which was actually it's hard for me to recognize who was who exactly. Okay, so I have 35 students right now. Wait for some more. Okay, so kind of like start with the introduction for the class. So today what we'll be doing is we'll be doing an architecture rendering with Photoshop. Okay, so more towards like we'll be rendering a plan and elevation. We are not sticking into 3D. Maybe with if you understood the basics of what you're gonna do right now, you can just apply the same logic to work with the 3Ds also. You can just like take your SketchUp views and then like directly twist and turn with the ideas that it's actually having. Okay, so that's the main thing about it. And okay, so right now, so you can just search for in Pinterest or Google Images how to do an architecture rendering for plan and things. So just to get an idea of what is the difference or what are the methodologies that there. Okay, you can either do your rendering with Photoshop or with Illustrator, but both will give a different effect, totally different effect for you to understand that. There you can achieve a nice vectorized kind of image, but here you would not be able to do that. Okay, so starting with the thing, and have 36 for now. Okay, not bad. We can start with the session. Mm, so first and foremost, we'll start with SketchUp. Before we just need 2 minutes with SketchUp. So I'm not sure whether you'll be able to see the contents. Hopefully you're able to see it. Okay. So I'm having a SketchUp plan over SketchUp window over here, kind of changing. Okay. Only the section I'm taking from here. The plan I've kind of like drafted. Okay, so it's not visible exactly for you. Okay, something is wrong with SketchUp. Okay, don't mind that. Okay, so take the section from your thing, keep a uh, parallel projection, and set a section, and then like take it so that you get a proper section. There are two options in that. To export it, one is using file and export. So you'll get there are two things which is like 2D selection and section slice in SketchUp. Please do write it down or just note it down somewhere so that you remember that. So there are two different outputs you'll get from section slice and things. So with that, I'll just show you how it's actually gonna look. So this is the 2D graphics that we'll be getting, and we have one more which is this is this is section slice. Okay, it will not show you the entire image. I and I have a section. This is 2D graphics. Okay, so don't go by the word section slice. It will just give you exactly of where you have cut the section. So the image will be just like this. But I have a section slice cut down. Okay, 2D graphics cut down, and then like I will show you the entire image of the 3D model that you've done. Okay, just I'll cut it, and then like I've just exported it. Don't worry, the scale will be proper exactly to whatever scale that you're given. Okay, and so we'll have to plot it into a PDF file. Okay, so first I'll show you for how to plot it for the AutoCAD plan. Okay, I hope you know what is uh, plotting means. Okay, like this control P or this plot. Okay, this is the plan that I'm having, and so what's happening in this plan is like, see, I have two plans over here. One is kind of like rendered with AutoCAD itself with the trees and then the texture. Do not have dimensions. Dimension is not necessary over here right now. If you want, you can turn off the layer and then like save uh, another PDF file or something. Okay, so I'm actually plotting two images. Sorry, two things. One is with the render, okay, with the cars and things and all studio thing, and another one only the walls. Okay, without any of the internal furnitures or internal hatches and everything. Okay, so if you could see, I'm also having another extra line, which is I'm actually drawing a rectangle. Okay, so this rectangle, what it is like, I've like taken the ratio of A3 size sheet. So anyway, A4 and A3 it's all the same ratio, and then like plotting it into it. So um, please note that this is very important for you to have a rectangular boundary. Okay, so to be little advanced, if you have this only this cross arrows, okay, so this brackets on all the four sides, that's more comfortable for you to pick the thing. So this will always define you with a perfect scale, and if you want, you can also draw your graphical scale to it, and it will be all precise and everything. Okay, so this is the same thing I've copied. So both the plans are actually will be fit in the same sheet onto the same location and everything, so both are the same. Okay, so once this is done, I have plotted one of this, okay, and I have another plot which is I've like selected this as the thing. Okay, during the plot, when you're plotting, you can actually select the window, right? So the same thing, I have just selected the uh, selected the window over here. So window is the option. Okay, and set it to a PDF of what Adobe PDF or from drawing to PDF and everything, and this is correcting that. Okay, so window option you can choose and set it fit to the paper, center to the scale, and all the scale and everything is perfect. Okay, so this I've exported to two files, and I'll show you the file. Okay, yeah, now you'll be able to see. So this is the PDF with the trees and everything. So dark and bold and everything. I'm having this trees, I'm having all these things happening over here, and I'm having this region of brackets that is there on all the four sides. Okay, this is the second page. This is without the boundary where I showed you like selection of the thing and then like there randomly. Okay, I'll show you the difference why we actually having, but this is for you to understand. Um, and so this is the other plan which we had adjacent to it, brackets, and I don't have any. plants or things or cars, and none of them are there actually. Okay, so and I have a section. So even the section, I'm having a bracket to it. So it's very important to have this bracket. You'll understand why. Okay, and okay, so I'm just closing, switching to AutoCAD right now. Okay, so I'm just importing the PDF file that I have exported from the thing. Okay, so first, as I'll import the complete plan with everything that it had. Okay, I can't see anything in this, but let me show you. I have to add a, so this is more like working like a PNG image, right? So there are objects, but the lines are also very thin. You will not be able to see that. So the better thing is like, I create a new layer. A new layer is created. I will take the color as white, checking if in case it is white or little grayish. Okay, keep it like full white and paint the color, paint that sheet with a white tone. Okay, I'm using the paint bucket to actually paint it white, and this layer is on the top. So this layer I'm actually bringing it down. So this is almost like working with the thing. So now I'll be able to see all the lines and everything, whatever is there. So the AutoCAD also works like that. So if it is more thin lines, of course you'll have definitely not able to see. Okay, so now I'm actually kind of got it proper. Now I'll also show you the other image which doesn't have the boundary at all. Okay, I'm just loading the other image which doesn't have the bracket on both sides. So this image is what this PDF is what I'm loading. Okay, and just like do the same thing. Put the color behind. Okay, so white color is fine. You can put any other color that you want. So what happens here is, since so when it imports a file from the PDF thing, so it actually takes till uh, the last line that is available. So this is the last end where it could find a line. So that's why it is kind of like automatically cropped to this. So but that's why in this case I we have set a boundary on all the four corners. So anytime it will actually be the same. So now if I am actually taking in the other thing without only the wall layer and then adding into the same file, what happens is like it is gonna say like I'm gonna keep it in place, and it is gonna sit exactly the same place where it was. If I want to turn this layer off, yeah, that's perfect. Okay, it is locked exactly in the same place. Okay, and one more thing that you have to understand over here. Okay, so there's a difference of this layer being here, and this is actually not a raster layer, so the quality of it is always better. So every time when you insert a new PDF file, that will not be a raster layer, but the first layer will be a raster layer only. So sometimes it will actually pixelate. So if you want, you can always import another same file of that also. Okay, so both these files are there. Just checking on that. Aligned it proper. Easy to align that. Okay, so yeah, so the file is perfect for us right now. Okay, okay, so So we got the plan and we understood how to make it so sometimes, okay, so right now it's kind of like I'm having these dark lines and everything, so that is fine. But this is not the correct method. But for your visibility alone, for you to work and then like understand what you can do is like give a stroke to it. I'll tell you stroke what is stroke and where it is available. But before that, okay, so any file that you're actually importing, be it an elevation image of the thing, or right now in our case it is actually the plan. So what we have to do first is like duplicate this layer and that layer. Both this layer will kind of like duplicate. Okay, so duplicate layer. Okay, so both these layers are duplicated. I just turn off these two layers, which is the mother file. Okay, so both these mother files, I will actually turn it off. So if in case anything goes wrong with if any of these layers, like I'll be always be able to manipulate and manage it. Okay, so nothing will go wrong to this file. Okay, okay, fine, that's good. And okay, now let's get back to okay, so we have this layer. So what I was talking about the stroke is there's something called as blending modes. Okay, you can right click on it and the first option on right click on the layer, look at the cursor, right click on the layer. Might not be visible exactly here for some reason, for technical reasons. Maybe you can try it. Listen out. Okay, blending options will be there. You can get your blending options, or you can just double click on the layer. The window is not seen over here right now, but it should appear for you when you're working it, if anyone is actually working parallel. Okay, but might pixelate as well at times. Okay, sorry that it is it's not completely clearly seen of how thing is. Okay, the blending modes are visible, so but the blending mode is always on the layers. Right click, the first option will be blending mode, or you can actually double click on it and you will get the blending modes. Okay, that's fine. Okay, it's like last time how I told you can drag and drop a PNG image. I hope you understood what a PNG image is. Okay, so I have few images like kept for myself right now on downloaded already, or okay, I'll just show you for the plants alone. Okay, I'm just like taking this file which is having only the plants image. Okay, the what do I call the plan of the plants. Okay, the trees. So here this is not a PNG image. Okay, sometimes you'll find a PNG image which doesn't have the background, so it's easy for you to work with. Okay, but in this case it's not a PNG image and it is a fresh image. So how do I unlock this one? So we'll have to double click on it and set the layer as a new layer. So what do I do always? First is like I'll duplicate this layer, right click, blend, duplicate layer, or control J. So this layer is duplicated. I'll turn off the layer, so I'll know how what if I'm making any changes, so I'm not disturbing this layer. So selected this layer, and what I'm doing is like I'm gonna use eraser. Okay, so there is something called as magic eraser. Magic eraser is something that will work it's a mixture of um, magnet sorry which one? Magic wand and eraser together. So I'm just like clicking on this white color area. So sorry, that is the magic wand. I'm gonna work with the magic eraser. Okay, so click on this one, and yeah, everything kind of like gets erased. Okay, so this is because the contagion is actually on. I'll keep the contagious on, so only that part is actually getting erased. So for me I want it like right now like this. So what else can I do? So if I'm taking this, I have all these images coming together. It's all like put into one single layer, right? So I don't want that. So what I'll do, I will select this part, layer via cut, select this part, select the bottom layer because the selected layer is for this and it doesn't have anything to it. Okay, or within the selection area wherever I mean. So I come to the other layer, okay, layer via cut, that's also cut, and this layer via cut, this selected layer via cut, layer via cut, yeah. And last one is already split up. Okay, I'm just selecting all these layers together. I will bring it, drag it, and take it to the plan layer, drop it here. Okay, so all this has come over here and everything is actually split up. So I'll put this into group. Okay, this group I'll name it as trees. Okay, so all these files are in this group, and so in take this. Maybe I'll resize everything together. Select shift and everything of this selector. How do I transform? Press Control T or edit and transform. So now I'll be able to transform this little bit to the smaller scale. Okay, okay, fine. Okay. This taking this, select everything. Now since the auto select is on, I'll be able to select only one. Just placing my tree over here. Okay, I have so that's the only big tree that I'm actually having. Other than that, okay, there is another one. Okay, so I'm control D and I'm like reducing it. Apply tapping. So it's kind of hard for me to visualize where exactly all the tree is located because this is completely 100% opacity. So for the entire trees, I'll actually reduce the opacity to little lesser. So since the entire group is actually selected and then I'm changing the opacity, so that's why this is happening. And now I'll be able to see. You can press, you can zoom in these this tree as well. Okay, just like reducing the size. Okay, and yeah, so there are a lot more trees see there coming in. Okay, so yeah, that's placed. I have this one as well. If you want more trees, you can actually do that. Okay, so if I change the opacity of the tree right now, it's all fine. It will kind of work. Yeah. So now this layer, so all the layers I'll be like able to see. I'm just pressing in the selection mode. I'm holding Alt, so you can see there is a change, which means copy. I told you last time as well. So I just like copy all the trees here. I wanna change it. I wanna rotate it to not make it feel the same. Transform Control D, and then again change the size of it or something. Okay. So same way you can keep multiple trees. Pressing Alt. So every time I press Alt, you can see like there is a lot of layer creating. So that's why we have to work this out in groups, so it's kind of easy. So now this tree is actually above, which means like it can't happen, right? So because the other one is the bigger tree will be like on the top, so I'll just bring it to the top, pushing the layer above, so it's all going down, and then we'll be able to see the things. So multiple trees are placed, so the same way I'll be able to populate everything. Okay, so this way I kind of populated all the trees in this axis. If I want, I can actually do for the other things. So this is this. And push it over here. So pressing Alt will during the transform will actually zoom into the center, string to the center. So it'll be easy for you to actually access that. Okay, so that's done placing of the trees. Okay, and this is not the only method. So if you could search for so what let's see like what we can actually find here in it. Okay, um please and the search. You'll be able to find direct PNG images also, and but I showed you a complex method. Like if it is not a PNG image and if it is having a background of white or something, then how do I do it? That is actually sorted. Okay, so you can check if you want totally a watercolor effect. So you can select trees from watercolor sorts and then do, or hand sketched kind of thing. Okay, so this is all pencil texture that you can give. If you want pencil texture, you can give that as well. So there are different styles. It's up to you to get like define what style you want. Okay, even when you're doing the elevation or something, if there is trees, or if you want to actually draw your own trees doing what with watercolor or something and then do it, then that can also be done. Okay, so that's for the trees. And we also have okay, so brushes, watercolor. Okay, so this is we you would have used your Photoshop brush already with just the texture of like what round and then like some other textures will be there. But there are still more lot of brushes that is available. Okay, so for example, this one over here showing a lot of different textures and grades of watercolor, how it could be used, the splash of watercolor and things and all. So this is available as a brush texture itself. Okay, so you can download them, and then once let's check any of the websites. Okay, it's kind of pre-installed in my laptop because I keep using it. Um, so you can download the brushes, so it'll be a brush format, and after once you're done, you can go to your Photoshop again. So in your Photoshop, okay, so in your Photoshop you can go to your brush, and so where you select your brush, right on the top over here. So where you select your brush, there's a setting option available. Okay, so in this setting option you can actually import more brushes or something, and then you can actually work with it, as in like the download file you can import and then you'll be able to use them. So this is where you can do that, or else once you're done with this, you can check all the brushes that is actually loaded within. I have okay, and so these options, the pop-up options are not kind of visible, I think. So forgive me for that. Okay, so any of the brushes that you can take and come to a new layer. Okay, so I'll just choose a greenish tone. Okay, so this is like this. Okay, so and then I'll again choose a darker green or something and reduce the brush pen, use the window texture, reducing the opacity of the brush. Okay, so this layer, if you're okay, to wait, it's kind of like loading. Okay, I'll be able to keep it and the same way use it multiple times. Copy it or create more also. This could also give you multiple. If you're doing it slowly and steady with respect to the color coordination that you want, you'll actually get a really nice effect with this watercolor brushes as well. Okay, okay. We'll see another version of it also. Okay, so right now, so that is one option. Okay, and apart from that, okay, so we are over here. So when we are over here, and I'll just crop the rest of the things. So only this I want. Okay. So this I've defined. I'm cropping only this one particular tree. Okay. Once this is done, edit and define brush will be there. Okay. So this defined brush you can use and you have to press define the brush, edit and define brush. So once that is done, it'll ask you for a number or a name. Then the brush is actually defined right now. If I go to the other one and use green color and be it in the layer, so I can right click, reduce the brush size. Okay, so opacity is right click, reduce brush. If you want to do it quickly. But the problem over here is like you will not get this gradient of colors that is actually happening like it's happening for this. So that will be the only difference that you will actually face between like using this image or that. Okay. Sometimes you can actually kind of use this pattern of using the brush. Hope you're understanding this. So what we did is like the image was there, we cropped it. So why cropping is like whatever is visible within this, only that will be defined as a brush. So I want only this to be defined as a brush. Uh, so that I can use it only this to actually define the brush and then it will be easy for me to apply the brush texture. Okay, so that's for this layer. So I'm just adding off layer, that's not needed for us. Okay, so far we saw how to convert a PNG like image trees and then like import the trees and then like place multiple trees. The same way what we could do is like uh, we could also do furnitures also. It's not that, not just that. So you can download furnitures also from net. So this is like one wide range of things that is actually there. So the sofa and thing together, or maybe sometimes I just get the this via copy or cut, whichever comfortable. Take it to man, reset. Yeah, and that's you would have seen that when I imported the tree layer, it was actually kind of very big. So I can actually shrink it. But now what I did is actually wrong. I should not be doing this because as in I should not be expanding the image. If I expand the image, it will actually pixelate. You can actually reduce the image, so that will be fine. But that is the desired resolution of the thing. So you have to, for this you'll have to find a better image in internet and then actually bring it to actually use. So the same way, yeah, multiple images could be downloaded. There could be beds. Okay, deselecting this. Yeah, copy. Mistake I did. I didn't choose the layer correctly. So this layer I've selected layer via copy now. Okay, so now I'll be able to select this object and take it, and I'll just put this bed in here. Okay, you need to have a sense of the scale, like how you're doing it. So sometimes it could be misleading, and for that I kind of thought I would put I thought I put a carpet below it, so I've got an image of a carpet as well. So take this. See, now this image is actually having a good resolution. It's actually blowing up really good. So this carpet is taking, placing it over here, reducing it. This layer has to go to the top. Yeah, so yeah, it's having the bed is having a carpet things. Okay, pretty nice. Okay, this is placing of the object. So remember this. Uh, you can do the same thing for the sections as well. And the section is having a need for a tree or a table. Okay, so all that could also be done. Okay, you can just like drag and drop the images and then like keep doing it. Okay, so kitchen, everything you can actually do it. So this is so much for importing the image. Okay, now we'll see to the next level of putting textures to the floors and the other areas and everything. Okay, so for that, so what we do is like we go to the main layer which we had, the base layer. Turning this off. These two, three are new group of furnitures. Okay, and furnitures, and you'll be able to turn off the layers quick and nice. Okay, so that. Okay, now so I have this layer, so which is I'm gonna select it with the magic wand. Okay, this layer, the plan layer, I'm gonna use magic wand and select. Okay, so it kind of like selected, but what is happening here is since these images are there and the tree and things are there, it is excluding that and then selecting. One option that I could do is use the selection and again like select it like this. Okay, or I know that I have another plan which doesn't have all this extra things that is actually there for the exterior. So it's better for me to use this plan. Okay, use this plan, select only, sorry, I'm select using this. Okay, select the layer, use the magic wand, select the edge. So everything is actually selected, and yeah, you can see that. So what I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna create a new layer. Okay, I'm going to create a new layer and apply one random color to it. Let's let it, I'm going to have a grass on this patch completely, so I'm just like putting a random color of green. Okay, so this green color is actually filled in. Okay, fine. So Now what I do, what I want is like I want grass texture for this. So I go to internet, I download, um, search for grass texture. Okay, use this word seamless. Seamless will actually seamless will actually give you image without a shadow on it. I'll show you. I'll tell you what is the difference. Okay, go to images, go to the more sorry settings, sorry, tools, and search for high quality. The large size, change it to large. So you'll actually find images which is actually of larger size. Okay, so then you'll be able to use that image, and then like that should be fine for you to use. You can see the resolution proper. So whichever texture you want a darker grass, you want a lighter grass, anything that you can do. Okay, and this uh, I'll kind of like go with this darker green grass. I'll just so you can see the image resolution. This is actually good resolution. So check for the resolution that you are actually choosing. I'm just like saving the image and drawn. So once this image is saved, I'll take it to Photoshop. Okay, and I've imported that image to Photoshop. So here, what I'll be able to, I'm kind of like clearly able to visibly see everything of the texture that is available for the grass. Okay, so now what I do is like I have to define this as a pattern. Okay, so edit, and there'll be an option called define pattern. Same thing how we give for brush. It will come a pattern name has to be given. The brush name we give here. I'll put it a name it as grass or something. Not visible here for you to see right now, but when you're taking it, you'll be able to see it. Define it. Okay, define the pattern. Once that is done, okay, come to your same thing. Okay, here we'll be doing trying to fix something. Just hold on for a minute. Okay. Yeah, this kind of got it, I think. Okay. So um, this is your layer style. Hope you're able to see it. Okay. So you'll get a dialog box like this, and you'll be able to see it clearly. So the first time when I told you about the stroke, so this is the stroke. When I turned on the layer of things, the stroke was able to completely give a thickness to that. Okay, this is the layer style. This is the blending modes that I've been talking about. So double click on the layer or like right click, and then you'll be able to see the blending option. So you'll get all these blending options totally. So here what we have is like take a look at it. We have strokes, we have inner shadow, we have inner glow, stain, color overlay, gradient overlay, pattern overlay, outer glow, and drop shadow. Okay, yeah. So when I will show you if I'm giving a pattern overlay to this. Okay, so first we'll understand. Okay, color overlay. So what happening is like in the color overlay is there's white color applied to it. So now I'm actually applying red color. So everything is actually kind of turning into this red color right now. Okay. Another example I'll just like tell you quickly. So I'm having a plan, right? I'm just like taking the blending options for a plan. So what happens in a plan if I give color overlay and change the color to blue or something? So everything in my layer, the visible option of the layer, it's the visible option in the layer, it's gonna come to blue color. Okay, so um, so all the it's kind of a little hard for me to parallelly show both the things. Okay, hold on. I think I'll be able to do this. Okay, picture. Yeah, got it better now. Okay, so in this, um, so if I'm changing the color of this one, so I'll be changing the color to one color. Okay, now it's green, dark green. I'm choosing any color, so the entire layer, so whatever is visible in that layer, everything will get applied to this same color. Okay, so it's not completely defaultly painting. Okay, I'm just gonna like color overlay, and then I'm like, okay, fine. So what happens is like, so now I see that there is another effect of color overlay happening. So if I turn off this thing, so it's gonna be back to normal. Another example would be, okay, let's consider this furniture, the single piece of furniture. So in this furniture, there's nothing beyond this. For only this is the object that is available in it. Now I give double click on it. Okay, I get the blending options. So this blending options, I'll turn it to color overlay. Everything is kind of getting painted black direct to that color. Clear. So this is because in the blending mode it is in normal. Normal means nothing, no effect to it. But if the same thing I give overlay, so the color is getting overlaid to it. Okay, or if I give color, then it's kind of like coloring up the entire thing. Okay, you can decide it, and then like, okay, if I don't want to see that, I'll just like turn off the color mode, or you can always double click to it and change the style of it however you want. Okay, clear. I'm just like turn off this is just color overlay for you. You have seen this effect of the plant completely turning white and all into a blue background or something anywhere in the plant. So you can just import the black thing. It's not for this. There's no need for you to select and then paint and all. Click on your layer. Okay. So color overlay, and you can just like paint it to the color that you want. Fine. Now we're gonna do pattern overlay. So remember we defined the brush, sorry, the texture here. Okay, I'm gonna go pattern overlay. In this pattern overlay, this is the pattern. I need to select what pattern I want to give. So I drop to this, and there are a lot more over here. So the last one is the thing selected, and yes, and yes, there is this texture. Okay, looks decent and okay, nice. A lot more things that you'll have to do. So depending on that, only you'll get your things correct. Okay, so we got the texture of that, and okay, I'll go to the plan. I'll keep the plan above. So Sometimes if it is not visible. Okay, one more thing that I want you to understand is like since this one pattern, we have a pattern overlay to this, and then everything is colored. Now, if I take my brush tool and um, take the normal brush, the round brush, changing into a round brush. Now, if I paint into this, I'll get the same graph only because I told you wherever it is kind of getting filled, everywhere, wherever the color is there, wherever the image is there, everywhere it is kind of getting occupied. So that's why this also is getting occupied. So if I turn on the pattern overlay, this will also be there. So we actually don't want that, so we'll just delete this part off. So it kind of goes. Okay, so that's fine. And I want to define this part alone with another pattern. Selected this area. Okay, turning on the layer, creating a new layer. I'll just give some brownish color for my reference, but here I'm actually doing a new layer. Just going to show you one more time how this is done so you kind of understand. So there's this website called textures.com. So this this website will actually give you better quality textures. Not only for this one SketchUp, you can use it for V-Ray, you can use it for Lumion, both the things. So get a for you have to register. You can download like some 10 images per day for with respect to the credits. So here I have pre-selected one and then like downloaded a texture. This one is for the floor. I'm gonna use this for the floor. Like search for different textures, and this one I'm gonna use it for the pathway there. Okay, so let me load the texture. Follow me. Okay, so once I'm like loaded the texture, okay, drag and drop into a new file completely. You can see that this is having only one layer to it. Okay, new file, and so what do? We go to edit, define pattern. Sorry, yeah, okay, edit, define pattern, and yeah, now you're able to see the thing also. Okay, so this one is like uh, giving a text name called variable floor. Okay, so you'll get this dialog box over here, and then define it. So once that is done, what do? We go to texture. So whichever texture we are given here, pattern overlay, define the new pattern. Okay, so yeah. So what's happening here is like the scale is pretty too much for it. Considering this is a window and it can't be. We don't want to use such big stone. So here I can reduce the scale of it. And if I'm moving it over here, I'll be able to position the same thing. Okay, okay. So this is the scale I want, and now the texture is applied for that as well. And that's also done. Oh yeah, here I wanted a grass patch for this area as well. So better I go to this layer. Okay, and no, let's not go to that layer because I'll tell you why. I'm just selecting this area, create a new layer, apply a color to it. Okay, so once that is done, I know this is the same grass pattern that I actually want into this. So I can just right click on this layer, copy the layer style, and go to the layer, right click, paste the layer style. Okay, so the same layer texture is kind of filled. So that is basically one pixel thing. Just delete that off. Okay, so now this is kind of looking like very flat, right? Both are in the same thing, but that's not how it kind of works. So we generally have a shadow and things for it. So we'll again go to the pattern over there. Sorry, the blending modes. So we have inner shadow to this. Okay, we turn on the inner shadow and we increase the distance a little bit. So the angle is actually straight 90 degrees. So we'll just turn that angle, and here you'll be able to see which side the shadow is actually coming and how big the shadows are. Okay, choke, like the size of the shadow a little more darker. So now it's kind of giving a depth that it is actually a little deeper. Correct? Yeah, got it. So that's the difference. You can see the difference. I can just turn off the inner shadow, how flat it is, and how better it is actually kind of looking right now. Okay, so yeah, that is done for that. We do a internal floor. Okay, it's kind of selected whatever it can for the thing. Okay, I'll just do the flooring. You have to deselect things and then like okay, I'll just deselect this. I'll just deselect this part as well. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's kind of deselected one. Let's paint and check. I'll open a new layer. Um, give a color to it. Okay, let it be or it doesn't matter. So all this is kind of filled. So I don't want this area to be filled with the same color. I'll just like select it, delete it. That part is gone. I actually wanted for this layer as well. Okay, don't bother now. But if you want whichever area you would be knowing whichever area you want to select, then here. Okay, here I actually want to include into this. So yeah, okay. So this is done. At once this is done. Having another texture. Hold on for a thing. Kind of like stuck. Hang on for some time. It's kind of like stuck. Can't do anything. Have to wait. Meanwhile, like, just tell me, like, is it all fine with Photoshop? You're finding it interesting or not? Just like chat down. I hope you're not just turned on your phones and then like left. So just hold on for some time. I just closed it. Not working fine. So yeah, mistakes happen. I didn't save it also. But still, I hope you got the idea of that. Right now we will try to do one section render as well. Okay, plan was fine, easy for us to understand how the thing was done. So we covered color overlay, we covered shadow, drop shadow. Okay, so there are two different things: drop inner shadow, drop shadow, and inner shadow. Two things are there. So other than that, we also covered defining a brush, defining a pattern. Um, that is it. Okay, and yeah, far more applying the texture, blending color mode, that is also there. Yeah, pretty much we saw a good amount of things. Okay, so the section, let's see section how it works. Let's give me a couple of more minutes. So the Photoshop loads, and we'll load the section right now immediately. But are you having any doubts so far? Do I have to show you something? Can kind of like quickly show if there's any doubts in the plan. But first and foremost, I hope you all understand how Photoshop is working with respect to the layers and everything. Only if you have understood that, you would have been able to understood what we are doing now. My Photoshop is still loading. Another 30 seconds maybe. Are the CRs of all the class present? All the three sections? Could you just tell a yes or no? The CRs of all three sections? let's get back to the same session. Okay, right now we'll do a quick section, rendering of a section. PDF. I have a section drag and drop. Okay, so I'm just like getting the section ready. Okay, okay, take your window to live, so you'll be able to see things. Okay, change your color mode to RGB, so you'll be while importing the PDF, you come an option. So change your color mode to RGB, so that will keep you working. I told you, I already explained you what RGB is. Don't work on the thing. 150 or 150 is actually fine. Okay, keep it. Don't go beyond 300. It will make your file really heavy. 300 means I can print it into A0 itself. Should not be a problem. Okay, so I actually imported a section, but nothing is seen. But actually, there is something, right? So I need to apply the white color to the new layer. So it's gray over here. Um, Switching of the colors could be done with the help of key X. X could help you like shift the colors, which is between these colors. And yeah, the overall canvas I wanna change it to on the other mode. So uh, image rotate counterclockwise 90 degrees. So you go to edit, sorry, image, and there'll be image rotate, so that you'll be able to rotate and then hit it. So this one, I'm dragging and dropping the PDF again. There's no point because I rotated the image. This I should have done before and only. Okay, so you'll get a better the raster image if you want. If you not want to disturb it. Okay, I want this. So I'll duplicate this layer, turn off the layer, and this one I will give a stroke to it. Okay, stroke. The size I'm increasing it to keep it to the center position center, then you'll be able to see the stroke texture and everything. So now it's kind of like visible for me. Okay, so what I'll do here is I will things get a nice sky background for the thing. There are lots of methods to actually do this, but methods as in the style you can actually choose to actually do all this render, but just using one style, very simple and style. Just putting this image back. Doesn't matter. This is sky that I want. Okay, the sky is there. And yeah, this sky there. I have the hold on. Have this texture of the earth cut kind of texture. So on the sec. So to rasterize all these things together, rasterize um, layer, right click and rasterize the layer. Okay, so here I'll just use just select one layer. The second one I'll just choose the erase, increase the size of it and keep it to a soft brush. It kind of blends in. Okay, second layer. And have soil texture stuff. You can do a layer mask for it. Okay, I need the inverted layer mask for it to see in the bottom. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna reduce the opacity of this, so it's gonna give me a kind of like texture or the blending nodes. Thing. So it kind of gives a cracked feel, just like merging this layer together. Merge layers. It's okay. The same thing layer mask I'm giving to the bottom also. Okay, so that is done so far. Then I've got some tree with me. So we always show no, the tree texture things and all to show the scale things and all. If you want to show anything more of bushes things also. And this full skyline of trees needs. So every time when you're doing it, no, don't always search for new images. Have a have a defined set of like once you start doing it, define them with the same kind of things like ads, meaning create a library for yourself. Okay, so doing this, changing, inverting the layer texture. Sorry, inverting the layer mask. So copy the layer mask and then like inverting the layer mask. So it's kind of like see. I'm working on all the other things except only the background I'm working on right now. Right. So yeah, I'll start working on the thing as well. So I just wanna rotate the image. So I'll just unlink this layer mask. Okay. Select the image and rotate it. So the layer mask remains constant, and only the trees will be changing. Okay. Yeah. So that's fine. Okay. So get this tree friend. This is kind of like blended in for us. If you're playing with multiple layers, then you can play with basically this is one image directly I'm playing with. So if there are a few more trees, magic eraser, rasterizing the layer. It is top, asymmetry. We can play with the opacity of this also. That will also give you sometimes really good feel kind of thing. Okay, so and this feels like it's now I can go to the layer. Where is my layer? Yeah, so this is these layer. No, just like naming it these. So I can select these are, yeah, these are windows. I just like paint them with the white tone. See, no, this is a mistake. I have to. I'm supposed to paint it in a new layer, but whereas I'm painting in the same layer, that I'm not should not be doing. Okay, so I create a new layer. I paint it so in one stretch only everything will kind of like appear. So the thing is there, and give a opacity to this. I feel like there's some glass kind of thing. Okay, so I'll create another layer. We'll just paint it all the four corners kind of thing. Yeah. So what I did, I selected all these parts, right? Now I'm going to this layer. I'll use my magic wand and deselect this part. I'm shifting layers. I'm shifting between two layers, so I'm able to work little proficiently. Okay, so here I will take the brown color. If I want, I can just like add what a texture of wood or something. That will also look good, nice and thing. Okay, so all this I'll kind of like um, keep as black. This part, this part. So I don't know. One in between, one in between. So whichever is whichever is supposed to be black or thing, then I can. Oh, that's be black, black, and that's kind of like filling. Okay, so we have the same window over here. So if I want to fill the thing with another color, with white or any of the wall texture, we have, okay, for example, this wall, this part, and this part, the wall. Give a wall texture to it, create new color. Okay, if you have a wall texture, you can download from the materials website. Okay, give some texture to it. Okay, and okay, let's show something over here to this part. These. Okay, just create a new color and over here. Now I'll go to this textures.com website. Okay, and I'll search for wall. searching for some relevant image which I could actually go and do it. So wall cracks. Yeah, okay. So textures like this or also we use save image, save as. So you have to download them. So just like download them for a look at it. This image bringing back. I'm getting this texture to this. So now with the selection that I have made, right? Overlay mask. Okay. Yeah. Sounds nice. So even this part, I want the same texture. So sometimes this will also give you like little more interesting, better feel for how the image has to be. Okay, so you can get better texture quality and things and all because these are real images which has been converted, right? So there'll be some errors or something. Okay, so you can do this. It's called like photo montaging and things and all. And okay, so that is nice. And also, if we want, we can have this leg of the sofa. Just just keep it and take it above all the layers. So sofa as well, nice and similar. Should be above this as well. So kind of wallpaper texture. Yeah, we have a wallpaper texture as well. Like I'll show you one more image and things as well. And so we kept the sofa over there. It depends on the size that you're having. Okay, a few more. I got this image of this hanging plants. Just like superficial, workable this way. Just like showing you reference of how this could be done. I will show you the thing of like how to work with the plan, more textures, which is giving little more drawing more ideas of putting in plans and all. And so now we can search for some other image, which is two things, which could be like pictures. Search for PNG images, like pictures, PNG images. Okay, so we kind of let's choose one nice one. Yeah, this is not bad. Save, save the image and have one more thing to search for, which is search for people, save image, changing, just like putting a person here. So sometimes this is not a correct image. Actually, this is not a PNG at all, uh, because of licensing problems that they will give you images like this. But still, I taught you how to select the image. So select whichever is relevant only, and then be able to delete off the other things. Okay, so this and do a layer mask. Go to layer mask. Okay. The person there, thing about the texture, the human essay. Okay, and we got an image of. Sorry, I forgot to shift. Um, I'm keeping this one. Okay, the light, selecting everything. Okay, continue. Just put this 50. Okay, everything else selected. Put a layer mask to it. Control I, convert to layer mask. So we have the image. Okay, so the human image that we downloaded, it was not. It was not a PNG image, whereas like it made to look like it is a PNG image with this checker box. So what I did is like I selected and then let me show it to you. I selected the image, then gave layer mask on. So I had to give an inverted layer mask, control or I or like inverse image. So only the human figure is there. Okay, what you can make them set how much, however you want to think. But look at this, scale is totally wrong. So this one, okay, you can chop off thing. Okay, and I create a new layer, another new layer with a soft brush. I'm taking. I just take this yellowish tone or something. Okay, and increase the brush size little. Okay, I take a soft brush or a hard brush, and this will kind of like what it's changing, giving a color tone kind of thing. Okay, I chose the yellow color and then like reduce the opacity of the layer and changed it to color or multiply will actually in the blending mode over here change it. So that will actually give you a nice feel to the thing. It actually is kind of a glowing kind of effect. Okay, and but all I was having another image like last time which we had a night image. Which can give you that full glow kind of effect. Okay, and the other thing that I told you is like color overlay for even this, right? The color overlay, if I give it to keep it as white, with, sorry, when I give the color overlay, if only the stroke is off, it will actually work because the stroke color is also black over here. So if I change the stroke color to white, yeah, so everything is gonna come white, and it's gonna give a totally different feel. We give a color overlay to white. Okay, totally different kind of like render effect kind of thing. Not looking into that right now. Okay, the base color overlay stroke, changing it, inverting it to black itself. Okay, so we were asked to um, search for wallpaper. Looking for some wallpaper textures. Good texture. Okay. To choose this image, better resolution, got the image, bringing it over to here. is actually showing like I've shown it. There's a window over here. So okay, I'll avoid the window thing. To get the texture using Alt to actually okay. So there are these three images. I'll just like mm, merge the layer, merge layers. Okay, reduce the opacity so that I can see something. Okay, I'll use this for the window and delete it. Only the window is deleted. Or you can use layer mask if you don't want to delete it. Now I get back the texture, back to this, and if I want my stores and dining table and all to be seen proper, even that could be done proper. Yeah, got a wallpaper texture as well. So on this wallpaper, if I want to put an image, we were playing with this I know last class, the same thing. Okay, I'm just keeping an image. Make it feel like a frame is there. So I'll first rasterize this image. I'll go to image adjustment and change it to black and white. Kind of want a black and white image for this. Okay, so after that, to the same image, like selecting this part and deselecting this, painting it with the white color. Okay, again deselecting, selecting this and deselecting it to give a gray color or a black color to make it feel like it's put into a frame. Okay, so that's it. And also you can do something else, which is okay, I'm selecting this part and creating a new layer. I'm going to use a gradient, okay, but changing the gradient to white. Okay, a feather gradient and giving it like this. So now if I use my lasso tool to delete this and reduce the opacity, for it to feel that there is the rays coming, the sunlight coming in, kind of thing. And also, if I want, I can erase it still much more to give like the lures are happening this way. Okay, so I think that's sufficiently good enough to work with this render, lighting, and things kind of. So, oh, were you able to see the Rhino frame or not? Based on the dimension, you will not be able to scale the things. Okay, so I think I did not I think I did not show you this Rhino image properly. So once again, I'll show you and then I'll explain you the image. Um, okay, explain you what the doubt is, how to actually scale down the furniture and things. So I'm actually taking in this Rhino image to this part, reducing the scale. Okay, keeping it over here, rasterizing this image adjustment and black and white, changing into black and white. Okay, so once that is done, change into black and white. So now I select this image, deselect center, select it, deselect image within that, and paint it with the white color. So after that, take an image, selection again, use the deselection and apply black color to it. So it kind of feels like frame is there. Okay, and one more thing that we can do is okay, create a new layer. Select this, select this region from here within the window, and paint gradient it with white tone. Okay, feather white tone, and then like apply it. Okay, so not so much here. So the feathering is happening, and after that, use window to make it feel like it's kind of tracing, the ray light is tracing over. So in order to scale the furniture according to the to the size of it, the dimension and everything, what you have to do is like you would have to give a reference plan. Okay, so if I'm having this plan, I should actually take a AutoCAD plan which is actually having its furnitures and everything. So remember for the plan we were actually working with the two layers, one with the furniture, trees and everything. So we were able to scale down the tree, right? Remember, with only the reference of what the thing. Then you can turn off the layer of the thing without the trees. Okay, sorry, with the tree layer you can turn it off so that only the wall layer remains. So you'll be able to use this and then do. Okay, so that's all for the class. You can ask for doubts if you want anything else. Also, I'll be able to share the videos and help you out with it. And so we still have another assignment to work with. So the 3D model that you submitted. So what you have to do is like take render the plan using Photoshop, and also one section and then one elevation, render it with Photoshop. Okay, so three things you will have to render. Hope everyone is understanding. So render as in like do certain things, change the style of it. Look how you can work with it. So render the plan using Photoshop. This is what I want you to actually do. Okay, clear? Thank you for attending the session. Okay, was I hope you understood. If needed any doubts, do contact me anytime. I'll be able to help you out with it. Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot. Any doubts? We can conclude the session. Yeah. Okay. Bye. Take care.